This is Bobcat Replay.
To parrot what Brent Vegan said earlier this week, of course you want to be playing for stuff in the month of November. With a Big Sky title in their sights, Montana State makes the trip to Flagstaff as the number 3 team in the land takes on Northern Arizona. And I'll tell you what, at almost 7,000 feet above sea level, you and I better be hydrated for this one, buddy. Ty Gregorak, the former Montana State defensive coordinator, Ben Creighton, Ashley Washburn coming up in just a couple minutes. Ty, with just 3 weeks left in the regular season, a lot to play for, not only for Montana State, but for a slew of other Big Sky programs.
Yeah, Ben, October is for pretenders. November is for contenders. I can't wait to watch how the next 3 weeks play out.
Yeah, you look at the top 10 standings in the FCS. Obviously, we're really going to be keeping our eye on that Sacramento State-Weber State game that's going on right now. And going back before the bye week, Tommy Mellott absolutely tore up the turf. A career-high 273 yards on the ground against Weber State.
Yeah, after that first throw, which Weber State intercepted, I really believe he played his most complete game at quarterback for Montana State.
Not surprising, he got that Big Sky Offensive Player of the Week. And for NAU, you kind of get a complete 180 in terms of style of their signal callers. RJ Martinez, the defending Big Sky Freshman of the Year, definitely knows how to sling it.
Great young talent in this league. What I've been impressed with, Ben, is his offensive line. For as much as they've thrown the football, he's only been sacked 7 times. Nice job by his front.
Bobcat Replay kicks off with the first quarter right after this. Let's get things started with the first quarter on Bobcat Replay.
And this Lumberjack offense will get the ball to start this one. A line drive hauled in just in front of the end zone. And that one's going to be taken to about the 25-yard line. It looks like Terrell Hayward was going to get the return there. So RJ Martinez comes out onto the field for Northern Arizona. And like we mentioned just a second ago, can really sling it, but he can use his legs as well. Coming off a performance in that win over Idaho State where he was 23 of 37 for 172 yards, RJ Martinez. Play action, pressure coming, and the ball's on the turf. How about that for a big way to start for Montana State's defense?
Well, absolutely. Unbelievable start.
Brody Grebe.
Great job by Brody Grebe. Coming off the edge there like a ravenous Rottweiler looking for a piece of bacon, Ben. What a way to start the game.
Again, this D-line for Montana State has been impressive all this season. And on the first play from scrimmage, Brody Grebe forces the fumble. Mellott under pressure, and he finds R.J. Fitzgerald. Montana State quickly on the board.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of this year from Montana State's offense. They're in true 22 personnel. 2 backs with the fullback and R.J. Fitzgerald. 2 tight ends, 1 receiver with Willie Patterson in motion there. Nice job. It was dived to RJ, didn't get much, set up the play action pass, and we've said it now. I mean,
every game now, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. RJ didn't have a touchdown coming into this season. Now he's got to shoot 5 or 6.
Garrett Kuhn now in the backfield for Montana State. Mellott keeps it on the play fake. He'll pick up a first down, spins from a tackle. Mellott still on his feet. Tommy Mellott does it again.
We're going to watch the replay here, Ben, but this is all Derek Snell on the perimeter getting this block. I shouldn't say all, because a lot of that was Tommy Mellott, no doubt. But watch Derek Snell's block on the perimeter to set Tommy, and then Tommy just does the rest with his feet. Right here, sealed. Nice job by Alston as well. Fantastic run by Tommy Mellott.
Squad on 4th down and sacked behind the line. The ball still on the turf. And it looked like it was picked up by Montana State. Either way, it's going to be a turnover on downs. But once again, that Montana State defense, you know, Willie Mack Garza's got to be loving that. What he's seen out of his defense so far.
Watch 47 here on the inside pressure. That's Callahan O'Reilly, the Bozeman native. Great job. Boy, you talk about starting fast on defense. 2 takeaways in the first quarter, Ben. Great job by Callahan O'Reilly.
First down from the 44. Back to Kuhn. Busts up the hole. A first down and even more. Garrett Kuhn getting into Northern Arizona territory. This one about a 30-yarder for Glesner. And that one good. A 17-0 lead for this time to flip to Drayson Hall. Getting to the edge. And knocked out of bounds. The Arizona offense has been since he first arrived here to Flagstaff. Pressure coming. And on the screen. That one complete to Coleman. Owen. Owen bouncing to the outside. And Owen turning up the turf. Touchdown, Northern Arizona. As that will end the first quarter here in Flagstaff. A lot of offense as well as defense on display in the first 15 minutes. 17-7, Montana State as the number 3 team in the land looks to remain undefeated in Big Sky play, but Northern Arizona looking for their 4th straight win over the Bobcats here in Flagstaff. Second quarter coming up here from the Walk-Up Skydome.
Get social with Bobcat fans and follow MTN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, here's the second quarter on Bobcat Replay.
Just short 4th down. Martinez trying to escape. Brody Grebe once again bringing the crunch in the backfield and another turnover on downs. And Belcher now the leading rusher today for Northern Arizona with 39 yards. Martinez with a load of time. Showing off the deep arm, and he's got a target. Coleman Owen with a big catch. Another big reception. About a 38-yarder. And wide right, no good.
Oh, boy.
I do not want to imagine what Brent Vegan is.
Well, yes, I wouldn't either. If I'm Coach Bobby Daly, who himself was an excellent linebacker at Montana State, I'd have a couple words for the young man from Billings.
Yeah, talk about a crucial penalty there on Nolan Askelson. Martinez flushed out of the pocket. He wants it all. Wide open target. Hendricks Johnson. Touchdown NAU as they close the gap.
For as strong and solid of a season that Montana State is having, they will not be able against really good teams, because they won't make the playoffs. They will make the playoffs. If they don't stop the explosive plays, their season won't go too long. I'm just saying.
That puts Coleman Owen over the century mark today. Eludes one tackle. Deep heave, and another big catch. Once again, Coleman. Martinez, the pitch. And the double pass going back to Martinez. Touchdown, Northern Arizona. And the Lumberjacks with their first lead of the afternoon on some trickery.
And they're feeling it, Ben. I mean, just like you and I were talking, why, how, coulda, woulda, should. The walk-up is rocking right now, man. They've not only given them life, they've taken the lead. And this thing was a blowout in the first quarter.
Xander Werner was the one who threw that pass.
Great call by Aaron Pflugrad. What a play call. So, again, and I'm telling you, these Montana State defenders better watch out, because they're looking closely. And they keep going high on a quarterback. Or, I know that wasn't the quarterback, but they keep going helmet to helmet. One of them's going to get tossed. Nice play call by Aaron Pflugrad, though. That's kind of old Philly special-esque.
Actually, is always appreciated. Again, what a first half here in Flagstaff. It has been entertaining to say the least. 21-17 Northern Arizona over the number 3 team in the land. Couple big TD receptions. Hendricks Johnson, Coleman Owen. We got a fun one here at Flagstaff. Halftime coming up here from the Walk-Up Skydome.
Time for the third quarter on Bobcat Replay.
Start of the third quarter here in Flagstaff as the number 3 team in the land trails 21-17 to Northern Arizona. Back upstairs, Ben Creighton, Ty Gregorak, Ashley Washburn here inside the Walk-Up Skydome. And you see Montana State will get the ball. And you and I were just talking a second ago with how much this offense has struggled in the second quarter. and how this NAU offense is clicking. They need a big drive right here.
Ben, you know what those big nasties wear up front, those shirts and hats that says run the rhymes with spam ball. It'll be interesting to see if they get back to doing that.
Marquis Johnson takes it out of the end zone as once again we go downstairs to Ashley.
I got to briefly talk to head coach Brent Vigen as they were coming out of the locker room, and his demeanor was exactly what you would expect after giving up 21 unanswered points to be down by 4 going into that half. But the biggest topic of conversation was just limiting those explosive plays. They gave up quite a few, which allowed NAU to score those 21 points. And the other part is just finding their identity on offense. They haven't been able to pass the ball very well and get back to that run game. We've seen that what they've been able to do in other games this season. They just need to get back to their identity.
Malott drops back, floats it up, another pass, and hauled in. Willie Patterson. They've gone to him a couple times, but they finally form a connection on that first down.
Well, this is all Willie. This is all Willie. Great play by Willie Patterson. Hands in his face, hands in his chest. Good, strong catch right there by Willie Patterson. That means Derek would be ineligible for this play.
Wide receiver reverse to Tommy Malott as the Bobcats pull a little trickery of their own.
Well, you know who's in the game now is Coy Steele.
Yep, he got that pass right there.
Another Wyoming young man from Sheridan, great town.
Up the middle, Elijah Elliott cuts back inside, getting to the outside, shoving off a defender, still on his feet, and runs out of bounds. Strong run there.
A young man's tough to get down.
Willie Patterson now in motion. Malott up the gut. Malott, second TD touchdown today on the ground, and a big response from Montana State out of the locker room to retake the lead.
Huge response. Exactly what they needed, Ben, was not just to have a good drive, but sustain a long drive and then turn it into points. Fantastic job. We got a penalty on the play though.
A 7-yard scamper by Malott. And him and Chris Ball believe they got a special talent here in Flagstaff. Play action. Once again, wide open Hendricks Johnson shakes a couple defenders, gets into Montana State territory, and wrapped up by a gang of Bobcats. But another first down for the NAU offense. Drayson Hall leaves the backfield. Martinez, and he finds Drayson Hall. Another first down, a big fourth down conversion in touchdowns this season for Northern Arizona. Rolling to his right, he'll keep it himself. And Martinez adds on to that total. Touchdown Northern Arizona as the Lumberjacks go back on top.
I was going to say they're going their Delta package. This might be the new version of it. Big people about to do what big people do.
And Garrett Kuhn stopped behind the line. Nowhere to go.
Nice job by NAU's front there. Back and forth game, Ben. I mean, this is great. They're gonna let it go to quarter. We're gonna switch sides here.
Going to the fourth quarter of a tightly contested contest as Northern Arizona looking to pull off the upset. It's been an entertaining game, and I know it's definitely entertaining to work with a guy who loves it. Look at this.
Well, they shouldn't be showing that on television, Ben.
You're passionate, man. Fourth quarter we go.
Get ready for the fourth quarter on Bobcat Replay.
Got fullback Ryan Fitzgerald in there.
Malott the give. Up the middle.
Power.
Reaching for the pylon, or the goal line, I should say. Touchdown, Derek Snell.
A-gap power, otherwise known in some circles as God's play, Ben. God's play. Beautiful. That's tough guy football right there.
A big carry there by the tight end, who they've been using a couple times in that running game. Just using that power, like you said. It just reaches over the goal line.
They have to. These guys are getting winded.
Martinez rolling to his right as he whistles it to Elijah Taylor. Another first down. 383 yards through the air, a season high. Looks to continue that. He's got an open target. Coleman Owen once again takes it in. Back and forth we his second TD reception of the day. Looking to escape this one with a W. 2nd and 5 for Tommy Milot in the offense. Milot finds a window, gets to the outside, and runs out of bounds, a first down.
Really nice design play here. Everything is telling the defense that the ball is going back to the field.
Milot back to Elliott, first down. New set of downs. This time going to Garrett Kuhn. Kuhn bouncing to the outside. Look at that man fly into the red zone and stop just short of the goal line. A big run there by the former Wyoming Gatorade Player of the Year.
Well, you got 2 tight ends in the game. You got your fullback, Ryan Fitzgerald, Tommy Milot.
Milot.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. Tommy Milot punches it in, and pandemonium continues here in Flagstaff as Montana State goes back on top again.
I might be wrong. I've been wrong a lot, Ben. But the V with the ball at the end of the game will most likely win this game. This could be a last possession game, the way it's going right now.
This will be about a 41-yarder for Colin Robbins. It's got the leg. And we are tied up here in Flagstaff. All alone in the backfield, Milot. Floats it downfield, and that would hold in. Taco Dowler, a foot race, and Dowler inside the 20, the former Montana Gatorade Player of the Year, coming through again and gets the Bobcats into the red zone.
Great throw by Tommy, unbelievable.
Brent Vegan has raved about his playmaking as they hand it off. Elijah Elliott, he escapes, and look at that dude fly, Elijah Elliott. Good hold, the kick. It's good. Blake Glesner wins it for Montana State, and the Bobcats remain atop of the Big Sky standings with Sacramento State and remain undefeated in the Big Sky.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with Tommy Milot. You know, NAU gets that field goal to tie the game, which is a minute ago. We got Willie Mack celebrating over here. You guys marched down the field with a minute left to go. Can you walk me through that last drive?
I mean, just like every week, we focus on the details. We focus on that 2-minute. Obviously, it's an important aspect of the game. And Taco made a great read there and just made a play. It's not scripted. We were kind of struggling. Obviously, it was third and long there, and we just had a big play there. So that's just how football goes. It's momentum swings. It's emotional, up and down roller coaster, and we just stay calm and we compete all the way through all 4 quarters.
You talk about struggling, but you were able to respond. You've got over 100 yards on the ground as well as through the air. Can you just walk me through your day-to-day and what was working for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're going to get back and we're going to see a lot of things that we could have done a lot better. Obviously, after a bye week, they had us schemed up pretty well, and they gave us a lot of different looks than what we were expecting. We missed some throws. Heck, the altitude here is pretty nice. I mean, the ball just sails here, so we had to adapt to that. And I think the second quarter was a really low, but I think the guys, they believe in what we're doing on offense, on defense, same thing, and they came back out here and they competed in the third and the fourth quarter, and I'm just really proud of everyone for sure.
And then last question for me, the ability to respond has been something we've been talking about all season with this team. You guys were able to respond in a venue that's been hard for you guys to win. What'd you learn about this team today?
Just resiliency. I mean, that's who we are. Detailed resiliency. Those are 2 words that I describe this team with. They come back every single day to practice and they work their butt off, get better. They watch so much film, so detailed on what the defense is going to do. Like I said, I mean, they kind of came out here and gave us some different looks. So, obviously that brings us down a little bit with all the preparation that we have, but we'll get better. I'm just excited we had a win for sure.
Absolutely. Well, you got a lot to celebrate about, so thanks, Tommy.
Ashley, appreciated. 1,023 total yards of offense today between these 2 clubs. And, Tommy Milot said it perfectly. Resilience. That's what this Montana State team has.
Well, yeah, you saw Willie Matt Garza, the defensive coordinator, come up and give him a hug. If I'm him, I am saying go to open range, order the most expensive ribeye on the menu. That's on me. And then secondly, this won't be beat mentality that they have was on show tonight, man. I mean, they had every reason why they probably should have lost that game. Won't be beat.
See you next week at Cal Poly, everyone.